Hello, everybody. Welcome to Win, Lose, or Cry, a Maple Leafs podcast. We're going to talk. We got two games to talk about this week. We got some other news around the NHL we're going to talk about, but only two games, so let's get into it. Red Wings, nice win. Well, it was a win, messy win, but a win regardless. We actually watched this game together on Saturday. I thought it was pretty good. It was a nice night. I got a little scared at the very end where they scored 30 seconds left in the game.
Uh,
I've been there, man. I know what happens sometimes, okay? It's never safe. but, um, but yeah, not too much notable about it. It was a 5-4 win. But honestly, there wasn't too much notable about it for me. The power play still was like it's okay. Penalty kill is pretty solid. The one thing of note is Marner popped his cherry. He got that goal. It was the ugliest goal I've ever seen, and he did not look happy scoring it. But damn it, he got a goal. I don't know if you guys remember watching it. I watched the highlights afterwards, and he doesn't look happy. He's just like, cool.
I wouldn't say he doesn't look happy. He did smile. He was
He
happy.
did, but like he knows it was a bad goal.
He does.
Yeah,
He does.
but I was happy. I'm like, okay, you know what? Sometimes you just need a shitty one. Honestly, sometimes you just need a shitty goal, right? So if that's all it took him, let's okay.
We're good. A goal's a goal, right?
Yeah, that
That's what I gotta say about that.
I got nothing much else to say about that. James, what do you think?
All right, I've got a lot to say about this game.
Oh crap! Really?
Yeah, I've got a lot to say about this game, and I'm gonna go on.
Oh wait a minute.
Start by saying that game. I think, well, the combination of these two games is the most two important games the Leafs could have played.
Fair.
I'm gonna go right now and jump ahead a couple pages here. Win, lose, or cry segment though. I want to go above win. Like, this was more important than the win. This
Yeah.
And I'm gonna break down because I have a lot to say about this game. I love the change up of the lines, putting Nylander and Matthews back together with Bunting in the first line. They looked real solid.
Bunting is great.
Kerfoot, Tavares, and Marner. I love that lineup. I love the way they play together. And that Detroit game, they were on the ice for 4 or 5 goals.
The Marner's line? Yeah. Oh yeah, Tavares got a 3-point night, right? Yeah.
They were on for 4 of the 5 goals. And then even Kasha, Comp, and Enball. The three of them played incredible together, I thought, as well. I'm not going to focus too much on the goals by Detroit. I mean, they got 4 goals. They were decent goals. I'm not going to say any of them were bad.
None of them were beautiful. They were just like, good, like decent goals.
And that's what they were.
Yeah.
Like, none of them. I'm just trying to look through my notes. None of them were really a bad give up on the Leafs. Like, no bad mistakes. They did have some nice goals. But I want to focus more on the 5 goals by the Leafs.
I do, before you get into the 5 goals, I just want to say one thing. Even though he lit by 4, I think Mrazek looked okay.
I would say so
again,
as well.
he-
Not to mention, he got a win on his first game
Yeah.
back.
It's just something to bring up. He let in 4 goals, but I'm not blaming him for those 4 goals. Like that's
fair.
yeah, because I talk shit about Mrazek a bit, and I'm like, no, he played a solid game.
No, like Detroit's first goal. Oh shit, I forgot who got it. But like it was a beautiful shot that he had on net.
Yeah.
Like you can't blame Mrazek for it. Leno had another goal, which was a good goal.
Who did you
So
say?
I have nothing to complain against Detroit's goals.
Who did you say there?
Is it Valeno?
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were trying to say Foligno, and it was just like
No. He's on Boston.
it was a mix of it's the wrong team, and I know you pronounce things weird, but
Yeah. No, Foligno's I do know. I like that. So, but the goals I want to focus on are the Leaf goals because they were good goals, and I think they were important goals. As
Yeah.
close as the game was, 5-4 final. They were very important goals. Muzzin getting his first goal of the season, which I don't want to talk about Muzzin getting the goal so much. Marner started that play.
Mm-hmm.
He took the puck from our defensive zone, skated it down into their defensive zone, or into the offensive zone, pumped the brakes, let Tavares catch up, and pass the puck to Tavares. So Marner didn't get a point on that, but he started and created that play, which I think is very notable because we've seen him with the puck this year, and he gets scared and he gets rid of it. And that's not at all what happened on that first goal.
He looked a lot more comfortable in Game 9.
That's what I mean.
It was his best game of the season.
Yep.
Until the next game.
I know you mentioned that he got his first goal, and like I'm saying, a goal is a goal.
Goal's a goal.
But it was his first goal. He played a much different game 9, than he did the first 8.
Absolutely.
Bunting's goal on the power play was the only time that Marner, Tavares, and Caulfield were not on the ice for the goal. And it was, again, Richie stood in front. Spezza, it was a textbook goal. Get in front of the net, put your stick on the ice, which is exactly what happened because Spezza had that slap pass from the point, Bunting redirected it, and it was a goal. It was a textbook. Get in front of the net, put your stick on the ice, and watch what happens. And then the third period got interesting.
Yeah, crazy.
There was 6 goals scored in the third period.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Kerfoot, though, gets a lot of hate, yet he did it against in the Ottawa game where he started the play and he finished the play. He started by putting the puck in behind the net. Tavares tossed it out front, and he was in front of the net ready to bury it, which I liked from him.
Mm-hmm.
Tavares' goal, how about that one? Where he's absolute rocket.
Oh, yeah.
Pass from, I believe it was from Kerfoot that gave him that pass, which Rielly started that play in their own end. He dove, chipped the puck up, it went down the ice for a 2-on-1, which Kerfoot threw that nice saucer pass right over the stick, and Tavares buried it. Like it's
great.
It was a beautiful goal. So Tavares played his best game, putting up 3 points. Like I said, that second line was out for 4 of the 5 goals. I think all around it was an absolute great game. The score could have been better, but I'm not complaining whatsoever. I think that was hands down until that point the best game they've played.
A little bit sloppy defensively, but a good game.
But offensively, they were
Great.
In the right position.
Yeah.
And sorry, looking at it, Marner's goal, not so much. Tavares' goal, Kerfoot's goal, and Bunting's goal were all scored right in front of the net, which is the one thing Leafs have not been well on this year.
Yeah.
Is right in front of the net. They haven't been able to convert, and 3 of the 5 goals were scored directly in front there.
Yeah.
So, like I said, sloppy defensively, but that was a good game in my opinion.
Yeah. That kind of felt like a playoff game. The way,
if it was a better team.
the way you kind of get what it had the feel of it. Yeah. More so than any of the other 8 games this season. It looked like a solid NHL game.
Yeah, Chase, what a... I covered a couple things there.
Is there anything else I got to say about this game?
I know. I felt good about it, so I just went for it.
No, I thought it was a great game for the Leafs. Yeah, it was a little bit back and forth, but when you're playing a team like Detroit that right now there's no expectations for them, you're just going to get a team that's playing right to the balls to the walls just to make sure that they're staying competitive, they're having fun, and then just to show like, okay, we're not just going to roll over and let you guys beat us. One of the cool things that night was Joe Valeno getting the call up and actually getting to ride in from Detroit with GM Steve Yzerman in his interview. He said it was a little bit awkward to get going, but Stevie carried the conversation quite a bit. I got to bend his ear a little bit, but one big thing was just the resilience for the Leafs. Like every time there was a little bit of a pushback from the Red Wings, they buckled down. They kept their head going forward, and they just kept putting the pressure and keeping the puck in the zone and taking advantage of any of the lapses that they had. One thing I did notice is Toronto Toronto still having a little bit of issues with running around their own end in that game, but it's coming. When you're having, I guess Hall was in the lineup, it was Liljegren that was in there. When you start kind of changing a little bit of pieces and you're changing a little bit of your defensive pairings, you're going to see that a bit, but all in all, a great game, and there's not much to say other than, I think now after that one goal, you can see the relief kind of hit Marner's face, and as you guys said, yeah, he's not going to be jumping around, he's scoring an empty netter, but deep down he knows, okay, well, now I got that one off my back, so let's just move forward into the next game.
Yeah.
But no, that's all I can really say. Mrazek looked good coming back, because I know being a goalie myself, it is a little tricky to come back from a groin or a hamstring injury, because in the back of your mind, you kind of sit there, am I really ready? If I push across too quick or too far, the stretch, like, will it go again? But some moments he looked like he was scrambling a little bit, but that's just going to come with time and getting used to the new team, because he only had 2 periods.
Yeah.
You're not getting chemistry yet with the boys.
Yeah, and well, and on your comment there about them running around their own end, that's how that fourth goal went in for Detroit. Like the scary one there, it was a nice shot that he had on net, but the puck went to the opposite point. 3 Leaf players charged it, leaving the other guy on the point wide open. The puck came out to him, and he just hit a one-timer and put a nice goal in. So, like you said, Chase there, yeah, it was a lot of chasing the puck around their own end. It could have been because it was 30 seconds left in the game, and it was one of those moments where shoot, just get the puck, get it out, and
still a lot of time.
They panicked and charged, and it ended up leading in a goal. But
I know you
I agree
guys.
with what you said there, and the face-offs though. Just to touch on that before we move on from that game,
Yep.
quick. 64.5% they were on the face-off though.
That's
Those are the numbers that I like.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
They've been solid on other than like 1, maybe 2 games. Last week, the week from hell, they've been solid. I mean, when you have 2 of the best centers in the league, you better be.
Well, even when you roll down through the lineup, having Matthews, Tavares, then you throw
Comp.
Comp can take some draws. Inval can. Comp is showing one of the main reasons they brought him in to win draws. He's doing it.
Yep.
And then Spence, you can roll him. Like you have options where it's nice. You see teams like Tampa, Colorado, Boston, Carolina that when you see important offensive or defensive faceoffs, they throw 2 centers out because they have the depth and they have the confidence that if one gets tossed out, then hey, let's roll out one another, like one of our other strong guys, and that's where Toronto's getting into that little niche area because they have multiple options that they trust going into the faceoff dot. They're producing, as we can see with the numbers.
Absolutely they are. Absolutely. All right, Chase, do you want to take us into the Golden Knights game there?
This one caught me off guard. When we were kind of discussing this earlier in the week before the podcast, I thought going into this week, the best chance for the Leafs to get a victory was actually going to be against the Lightning because they've been struggling a little bit with the injury of Kucherov. But the Golden Knights kind of pulled the Leafs. They came out flat.
Yeah.
They started off slow. They couldn't get their feet going. But I'm not saying this again. I'm not trying to belittle the Leafs. Like, they came out strong.
Oh yeah.
The highlight packs that I was seeing and just getting the updates, they
Just
owned the Golden Knights.
The whole game.
This game was a statement.
They.
Especially the next two.
I kind of want to get my editing skills a little better so I can have like fireworks go off that says they played a full 60. They did it.
It's unbelievable. And then the one thing that stood out to me, and some people might disagree with me on this, but I honestly think that their best line right now in the last 2 games has been Tavares, Marner, and Caulfield. Those 3 have found some type of chemistry that is working like there's no tomorrow. Because one goal that Marner scored, which is pure highlight reel goal, it kind of reminds me of Maxime Afinogenov back, I think it was 09 in Tampa, spins around in front of the crease and tucks it in. Kerfoot takes the hit to poke the puck further down the corner to get it to Tavares, and it's a great pass, but then you see it later on in the game, the chemistry, they're finding each other in the tightest spots, and then you see the confidence in everyone's face, so it was just awesome to see, but then what scares me now is with 2 goals from Matthews, did the beast wake up, and is
He's coming.
Wild? If
Well,
he does, then any team he should very scared.
Yeah, you know what? He just had to loosen up that wrist a little bit. And you could see him that whole game. He was firing those wristers, and they were just going like slightly wide. And I watched this game with my dad, and he's just like, "Man, Matthews, he's getting these shots off, but he looks kind of off." And as soon as he finished that sentence, the first one went in. So I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" And then another one, and I'm like, "I guess he's back." And
Nylander on the other side, that just it makes it scary. It's kind of like on the Washington power play. Do you cover Ovechkin or do you cover Kuznetsov? Like, you're getting the same thing now with Nylander and Matthews shooting.
Yeah.
But again, they killed it on the faceoff, got winning 54% of the draws. They were 1 for 1 on the power play, and they were perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
So this was an all-around great game. But one person I do want to mention for this one, as Norman mentioned, is Robin Leonard. Yes, his saves were not pretty. Yes, he looked like a fish out of water. But in that game, if it wasn't for him making some of those awkward saves, that could have been an 8-9 game for Toronto. So Robin Leonard,
they were on fire.
As much credit as possible. That man just battles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He kept that game at 4-0. As bad as that sounds, he kept that game at 4-0. Like you said, it could have been 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Like it could have been, but this. So I'll say something before this game started. So yesterday afternoon, I was prepping for this podcast, and I was thinking to myself, all right, time to rip Matthews apart. Because after Saturday's game, Matthews and Marner were tied for goals. They were tied, 1 goal each.
That's
and I
not good.
thought, you know what? I get it. Matthews missed the preseason. Matthews missed training camp. He missed the first, I think, 3 games. So I think this was his 7th game. I was like, this is the true tell. Like, what's he going to be like? We're harping on Marner hard. How about Matthews?
Yep.
Marner comes out, or I'll start before that. Nylander comes out strong, almost scoring in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is exactly how I want to start a hockey. He actually did it in the first and third period. He almost scored in the first 20 seconds.
Oh god, Nylander playing phenomenally.
Great opportunities in the first 20 seconds of both the first and third period. But Marner came out strong with an absolutely beautiful goal, and I thought, oh boy, time to rip into Matthews. And then Matthews goes and buries one of the next shots. And I was like, well, maybe next time I'll get the rip on Matthews.
He's only got 2. He's only got 2 on the season. That's not that good. I know.
Well, all right, I guess we're winning this game. Sorry, back up real quick to Marner's goal. Chase.
Oh my god.
I know how much you like Kerfoot. I don't think Kerfoot actually played that correctly. I think it worked out well for him. I think Tavares won the battle, which threw it out in front of the net. But I think if Tavares had lost that battle, he would have said, well, Kerfoot just kind of pushed the puck away.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how I want to look at it. Yes, the play worked out well because they did a goal, but if Tavares had lost his battle, Kerfoot played that wrong by pushing along the boards rather than trying to throw it up front of the net.
But in that spot, Kerfoot is going down on his backhand, and he has to overextend. If he tries to push the middle, that gets picked off. It goes out. It goes down the ice very quick. In those moments, it's best to get the puck down for a puck battle, then throw it in the middle and see what happens.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
It looks strange because it looks like a little poke.
It was an awkward play.
Those ones work out to be the best thing possible.
Yeah, but Tavares had his back. And again, after the Detroit game where he put up 3 points and had the best game of the season, they start off strong by him getting an assist. Marner making everyone look like they're standing still.
Oh my god.
Circling and spinning and doing whatever he wants to do in front of the net.
That was insane.
Which I mean, I loved seeing it. And I just want to put a note out there for all the Marner haters out there who've been hating on him. That's his 2nd game-winning goal in a row. He got the game winner in the Detroit game, and that's technically the game-winning goal of this game. So, yeah, all you haters. I mean, Matthews' first goal. There's not much to say about it.
It's a patented Matthews snipe.
It was a beautiful, beautiful goal.
Beautiful.
Marner looped up and around, found Nylander. Nylander just had an incredible pass, which, to Chase's point, with the line of Kerfoot, Tavares, and Marner, keep them together, and please keep Nylander with Matthews.
Oh, yeah.
That line is working, and it's working well.
Mhm.
And I love to see what happens there. Then Matthews goes and puts another goal in, which originally I thought he went bar down, and it was a beautiful goal. And when I watched the highlights from a different angle, it wasn't. It went up, hit the crossbar, came down, hit Leonard's pad, and then went in.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that originally. I thought he just right front, up, bar down, and there we go. But more importantly, just like the Detroit game, that's another goal scored directly in front of the net, which is what they haven't been able to do. So I was happy to see that they're able to convert with the puck directly in front. And then Nylander finally getting his goal. I felt like he deserved the goal the most that game.
Yeah. It's weird saying Nylander finally got his goal when he was like the leading scorer on the Leafs this year. But man, he deserves way more than he has.
Okay, but you can't tell me watching that game.
Oh, he should have had like a hat trick. Hat trick easily. Easily.
He absolutely manhandled the Golden Knights by himself.
Yeah.
And finally got his goal, which I was happy to see, because I know last week I talked about Muzzin, and we talked about him possibly playing with an injury, possibly getting injured in the game against Chicago.
Mhm.
He started that play in the lead zone behind the net by winning the battle, chipping it up, which I think Matthews then chipped it to Bunting. Bunting put it across to Nylander, who ended in the goal. So, those two games were, I'm going to say it, the turning point for the Maple Leafs. After those two games, Matthews turned it on and started putting the points in. Marner turned it on, had two incredible games in a row. The Maple Leafs looked like a solid group that were all on the same page. Campbell put a shutout.
Yeah.
Right? Mrazek got his first win. In the last two games, Tavares put up the first 3-point game he had. Muzzin put in his first goal. And before the Detroit game, the Maple Leafs had not scored more than 3 goals this season. Since they had got 3 goals, like against the Ottawa game and then against the Sharks, they had put up 3 points. But they had not scored more than 3 goals. 2 games in a row, they just didn't.
I don't want to be the negative dude here, and I can't say a bad thing about the last 2 games. I can't. Played awesome. What I can say is this is the turning point for the Leafs. May I remind you how bad they've been playing against the bottom teams in the league? And one of these 2 games was against one of the lower teams of the league. Vegas is kind of middling this year. I need more than 2 game sample before I say that they've turned it around. They've won 3 in a row. 2 of the 3 have been kind of messy wins. That Chicago win was that was like you shouldn't have struggled that much against Chicago. And Detroit was better, and then Vegas was great, perfect game. I need more than a 3-win streak when 2 of them are bottom tier teams. I need to see them. They have some tough games ahead, and how they play against the tougher teams, I'll be able to form a better opinion. But just seeing what I've seen of them this year, I'm not quite sold yet. I'm glad they played great this week, and it shows they have the talent, they can do it. But I've seen it before that they have the talent, they can do it. I just want them to keep going. I don't want them to fall off the train against Tampa and then lose 8-0.
No, I think Marner is back.
He looks so happy now.
I know last week we talked about his mentality and about the fact that he had scored in 20 games.
Yeah.
And now he just scored 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Right? And not even the plays where he scored, just the way he carried the puck. It was different these 2 games than it has been the 8 before that.
As soon as he got that bad goal in the Detroit game, he played like he did a year ago.
No, I disagree. Prior to that goal. That game.
Oh, that whole game.
He played that entire game very well.
Mhm.
but it wasn't actually a good goal. Like he didn't.
Oh no, it was a terrible goal.
Watching it again, he didn't. It wasn't like he charged into the play.
No,
Beat the defense. Like he just kind of fluttered his way in, got the puck and scored.
but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be a good goal. You got it off your back. I haven't scored since what was it? Like he hadn't scored since like April.
It was the third last game.
Yeah, it was like May or late April. He hadn't scored since then. He finally got one. So now he's like, I can do it. I got some confidence back. And like you said, you saw that whole game. You definitely saw it through the Vegas game. The entire game, he looked phenomenal. It looked like Marner from a year or even 2 years ago, where he's flying around and doing crazy shit. And that's what I loved about Marner.
And I don't think that's coincidence.
No.
I don't think it's coincidence that not just him. I don't think it's coincidence that the whole team played the best game I've seen them play in a
Absolutely.
long time after he got that goal.
Yeah.
I don't think that's coincidence. I think that changed the whole mentality. Even Rielly had an incredible game. Like, he just got his contract, and the last 2 games he's played to that contract.
I agree with every word you said. I just need more. I've been a fan of this team for so long that I need more than 2-game sample size.
They're losing. Maybe 3 wins in a row. You give me those 2 games. Yep, done. Sold. We're going cup. I'm ready for it.
We're going for.
I told you, 3-game win streak and the parade's back on.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not putting out a parade, but I am saying that this will be the turning point, and I think the first 8 games will not be a representation of the next 8 games.
I hope. I hope you're right, man.
I think so. I think these 2 games were very crucial.
Absolutely, they were must wins.
They broke that 3 goals that they're held to. Players that hadn't scored finally scored, and I mean Matthews had a 2-goal night, which he hadn't had yet.
Mhm.
So I do think that the mentality of this team has changed, and they are back and they are ready to fight now.
Can I? I'm going to ask a question, and I'm pretty sure I know your answers, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very, very, very short segment. But win, lose, or cry, guys.
Oh, I already started earlier. If there's something above way, I'm going for it. Like cup contender, maybe? Is that above it? I don't know.
Good work for yourself there.
All right, second round.
Second. Can we please? I'll take second round. Oh.
For the Leafs, I would say it's a win. There's really nothing else to say about it. Like now that, especially now with having Marner, Matthews, like your big guns firing, that week's a win. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen when they go up against Boston and Florida the next 2 games.
The last 2 games, I'll tell you.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm sold. I'm just happy.
James is the hype. So 4 games in, we have realized James is the hype guy of the podcast.
We're 10 games in.
What did I say? 4? 4 episodes into the 4 episodes. 4 episodes.
I am the optimist who's going to keep on going. And I just want to say, I said they were going to get 3 points out of these 2 games.
You did.
4 points.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah.
No, you're good call, man.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Morgan Rielly's contract. Let's touch on that. I know I mentioned it in a minute. Let's touch on that for a second. What do you guys think about it? Like, is it a good contract? Does he deserve it? Should the Leafs have done it? Chase, I kind of know you're hesitant on it. Let's start with you. What do you think?
So, I guess in the market now, the contract doesn't necessarily hurt for the Leafs because you're seeing a lot of defenses like McCarr, Fox, McAvoy,
Werenski,
Jones, Hamilton.
all going for 9 or 9.5, 9.6. But when I look at D-men around the league, and I compare him to Rielly, when you're looking in an overall sense, I still think it's high for Rielly because you have guys like Devontae's and other multiple guys that are making 5, 5.5, even 4 point.
When did they sign those contracts, though?
They signed, as I said, the market. But if you're looking overall defense defensive players. I would much rather see if I could work out a deal for someone else at a lower salary cap, so that way you have room, because you can get a defenseman that is better than Rielly at a cheaper price. But now, again, with the market, it doesn't balance out. So, in a contract sense, I don't mind a contract if I'm a Leafs fan or at least like Dubas in the front office. But if I'm like a hockey guy looking at defensemen in general, to me that's high for what Morgan Rielly offers. But as I said, in the market now, that contract is, to me, would be similar to like a $6 or $6.5 million contract.
Yeah, because if he went to open market, he's getting 8.5, 9 easily.
I wouldn't know.
Easily.
Anywhere between 7.5, 8.5.
You don't think someone's gonna pay in? You don't think someone's gonna pay 8.5 for Morgan Rielly on the open market after just seeing everybody going?
That'd be the high end, because if he's gonna get 9, and that's what McCarr makes, and some of the other guys that are making 9.5, he's not close to a McCarr or a McAvoy or Jones. Well, maybe Jones.
Maybe Jones. Yeah.
But he's not Dougie Hamilton or Zach Werenski.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but on the open market, he'd be making 8.5, 9. This market, yeah.
8.5 for low.
Mm-hmm.
No,
8.5 is the ceiling for him.
I don't think so. I think there'd be a team that could pay above 8.5 for him.
Yeah.
If there's a team that pays above 8.5 for him, then that GM, and this is just me again, but that GM should be fired, because he does not offer enough to be in that $9 million range.
I mean,
I don't know. I think I wouldn't say he's $9 million player. I'd say 8.5, yes.
Yeah.
But just like even
I think it's a good deal. 7.5.
I'm happy with
Yeah.
it. I can't complain.
Market value, it is a good deal.
Yeah.
That
Who did Von Taves play with last year?
He was with the Ads last year.
Yeah, but
He was traded.
who was his partner though?
He bounced between McCarr and Gerard.
Okay, because I just pulled up his stats quickly against Rielly's here, because I know you compared the two contracts there. He only had one more point than Rielly playing with Carr on the President's Trophy team.
Yeah.
Like so I don't know. It's hard to compare those two players together. One's only got 3 years in the NHL and hasn't fully proven himself yet. So I don't think you can compare the two contracts together.
Devon Taves he's more of a defensive guy, so him having more points, or even one more point than Rielly, is showing a lot more of a defenseman that I want over Rielly, who can't play in his own end.
But he's playing with McCarr and a team.
McCarr's offensive.
Yeah, exactly. That's how he got the points.
No,
He had 22 assists. I
That
think he
was
got
not-
22 assists.
he played on the second power play unit.
Okay.
So he's not playing with McCarr the entire game. And
He only had 6 power play points though.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. He's not. He bounced around so much because he's not defensively liable that when it got into defensive faceoffs and they wanted to make sure that the D zone was insulated, that's when they put him out. That's what I'm saying. A guy who's getting $4.1 million right now to be defensively liable and can put up points when you need him to, over a guy who I would not want in my own end when the chips are down, and he's making 7.5. I'd rather go the cheaper option and make sure that my T zone is well covered. That's just me. That's me thinking of as a hockey guy, not because I am a homer for the Avs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm any team that I run.
When did Taves sign though? Did he
Signed
sign
just before last year when he got traded?
so right before defensemen started to blow?
yeah. Again, it sucks, but it's market. It's market.
You know what? If you were
I'll
a free
say
agent,
6.5 if he was still in the market.
I was gonna say yeah. If he was gonna be a free agent with the stats that he had last year, and potentially what he's gonna do this year, if he was a free agent at the end of this year, you wouldn't be looking at $4.1 million anymore.
No, but I mean, when you compare the two D, though, I'm taking that contract over
That's fair.
what Rielly offers just in general.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I mean, he's a good defenseman. He's a solid player.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you can compare the two contracts like side by side.
No, different players, different signed at different times. Yeah, I'm gonna, guys. I know it's not the most fun topic, and I know we mentioned it before, but we got to talk more cap stuff because now that Rielly's making $7.5 million, how the hell are the Leafs paying him $7.5 million?
Well, I think the signing of Rielly opens the door for Marner to be traded. I know everyone's talked about, especially after last year's playoffs. Oh, we got to trade Marner. We got to trade Marner. And I know that's a conversation that's been had probably by every single person who likes the Leafs, has heard of the Leafs, knows anything about the Leafs.
You live in Ontario.
We have to trade Marner to make things work, and I don't think that was an opportunity. I don't think that was even on the playing field.
No.
Because Dubas likes him. He's openly said that we're going ahead with this team. However, with the signing of Morgan Rielly for $7.5 million next year, I think for the first time, it's actually a potential that Mitch Marner could be traded from the Maple Leafs to make room for next year.
Because where else are you going to get the money?
Right, and you've got Campbell's contract ending this year.
Yeah, he's gonna make more than 1.5.
And he wants to stay, so there has to be room made. I mean, Kessel's contract's coming up, but that's only 1.2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can move. What's Kerfoot at? Is he 3-something?
3.5.
So you can move Kerfoot, but after the last 2 games, seeing how he's playing with the other 2, I don't want to. Not at the moment. So I think for the first time, there is a realistic chance that Mitch Marner could be moved from the Maple Leafs before the end of the year.
Yeah, and the worst part is, he's gonna play phenomenally wherever he goes. He will. He's gonna play great this year, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, do we have to trade him?" It's like, well, we got him. The way that they've structured this cap, it's not like you can take it from the depth, because everyone in the depth, it's after you get past the big 4 guys, it's Kerfoot at 3.5, Richie at 2.5, then 1.5, 1, and then all league mins. Like, what are you gonna do? Have those guys and Rielly, and then everybody else at league min?
I can also see them moving Richie.
But again, that's only $2.5 million, and the way he's playing, I don't know if many people want him.
Move Richie though, you have room for Rielly.
But then you also have to worry about Campbell.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Because you can make changes like that. Say you trade Kerfoot and Richie, right?
Not even Kerfoot. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off the brain.
Okay.
If the cap goes up $1 million, let's say the team stays the exact same way they are.
Okay.
Wait, that won't work. We have to sign Liljegren and Sandin.
Yes, that's another thing. Liljegren and Sandin are also up.
Trade Marner.
You have to. It's going to be him or Nylander, and I really don't want to trade Nylander.
I don't think they'll trade Nylander.
No, he's making $4 million less than Marner, and he's playing unreal. That is a sweetheart deal in this league right now.
Easiest players to move, though.
Sorry?
I think he'd be one of the easiest players to move.
Yeah, but you don't want to move him.
Call up any team and be like, "Hey, we got a player for you."
Yeah, literally.
Everybody would say yes.
Yeah.
The amount of money he's making, it'd be like if somebody offered McKinnon. Like, how good a player he is versus the contract he has, it's a no-brainer. You can't say that.
Yeah. Whereas Marner, they might want to trade him, but what team's going to take him at $11 million? Say he gets 80 points this year, right? Just because of his slow start, and say he's good for the rest of the year. Say he gets 80 points, right? 80 points, $11 million. Who has $11 million to offer the Leafs? Or who has the cap space for $11 million, plus can offer Leafs good enough players? Because they're in a win-now position because they only have 2 years left with Matthews and Nylander. What does Arizona have to give Toronto that's like a playable, like.
Draft picks.
But do you want draft picks now? Like, that's what I'm saying. You only have 2 years left of Matthews and Nylander. You don't want draft picks. You want a playable skater.
Yeah. So who would you look at? Let's look at.
Because you have to.
Always take draft picks as you can flip them.
That is true. That is true.
Well, who's that defenseman? I'm just looking at Detroit's team right now because that's a potential team they could trade him to.
Mhm.
They've got the cap space, and they got that kid on defense.
Maurice Cedar?
Cedar. Oh my goodness, I love him. He is an incredible player.
He's not going to be traded at all. He's already been put on the list of you can't touch him.
I don't care. Mitch Marner opens new doors.
The other thing though too, if I'm the Leafs, I'm not trading Marner inside the East. I'm trying to send him west.
He's going west. If he moves anywhere, he's not staying within the same division or same
Now,
conference.
there is one other option that the Leafs could look at. I know it would literally put Toronto into an absolute riot. But there is a good chance in 2 years when Matthews' contract up, he goes to Arizona and go back and play home.
Yes.
Ship him out now. If the Leafs fall flat again in the playoffs, I'd ship him out to Arizona, get the Clayton Keller, a bunch of the picks that they just accumulated, and some of their other younger talent that they have in their system, and go from there.
So, are you saying?
I'm not
Because
saying that's the move you got to do, but that's one that I would entertain if there was
I-
an option.
I agree,
So,
but that's the thing, and we've mentioned this before. If they don't do it this year, if they shit the bed again this year, are they going to rebuild? Based on what their cap situation is and everything?
I don't think they have to do a rebuild.
If you trade Austin Matthews, you're rebuilding.
I don't think
no, they're not.
If
Absolutely not. Brandon.
you trade the Rocket Richard Winter, who's in his prime, you don't think you're in a rebuild? Like, for draft picks, you're in a rebuild at that point.
No, you're not.
you just turn those picks back around and you send them out the door.
Not even that. You trade them. You get a first round pick this year, or whatever. You get 2 first round picks,
Mhm.
and you still get a solid player.
Do you get
You're
anything?
You're not just getting picks in return.
I know, but you're.
A solid player for $5, $6, or $7 million, plus cap space, plus at least 2 first round picks,
I get it,
if not more.
but you're trading away a 50 goal scorer
Yes.
in his prime.
Yeah.
Like,
They won't do it because, in my opinion, if Dubas trades Marner, if Dubas trades Matthews, Dubas is the next one at the door.
I mean, Dubas is going to be out the door regardless if they lose in the first round.
Most likely.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I literally have the Coyotes roster up in front of me. Let's say you trade Matthews there, you get Lawson Krause, what's the one I'm thinking of here?
Well,
I mean-
That was phenomenal for the World Juniors. You got Clayton Keller you can look at.
Chitcher
These guys that
defense.
I don't know if they move him, but that could be an option to start talking about.
Matthews. For
Like,
Matthews, anyone's open.
I would like Clayton Keller.
There's a bunch of options that you can go with. Because Arizona's in the point now where they don't know where they're going. There's no identity. They can bring someone in like an Austin Matthews. Already there's a piece to build around.
Absolutely.
You could take advantage of a team that's trying to stay in their state, and you could fleece them pretty hard.
I mean, they have a buttload of picks.
Yes, they do. If you got Clayton Keller, who's signed on at $7.1 million, $7.15 million, and he's only 23 years old. I mean, he's a young player joining a young team.
Do you think? So
You could get Lawson Krause, who's 6'4", 215, and put him on that bottom 6, or put him in the top 6 to get you grit. Like that's a kind of player that the Leafs have been missing for a few years.
hypothetically, not Richie. Hypothetically, they trade Matthews. Tavares becomes top line center. Do you think he's good enough to be a top line center for the next, for this year, or next year? But like, I don't know, man.
I think Tavares can play top line center. Absolutely.
For the next 2 years, maybe.
No more than
Look
that.
at Patrice Bergeron. People have been questioning him for the last 4.
Fair.
The guy's still going. This year he's turned off a little slow, but he still produces. He still plays well. He plays PK, power play. Tavares can do the same thing.
Well, I'm not saying Tavares is going to be shit. I'm just saying he might. He's already kind of slow to begin with, and like that's been his thing. He's never been the speediest skater, right? Like that. I'm not saying he's shit. He can't skate now. He's a good skater. He's just not as fast as most people. It's usually his hands that are his thing, right? His hands and his puck battles and his face-offs. He's very good at face-offs. I'm just thinking, he's already getting older now. In 2 years' time, I don't know if he's going to be top line. If he's top line center material, he might be a second line center. He's going to be a phenomenal second line center. But you lose Matthews and you get a winger instead. I don't know. I think you need a center.
I don't disagree. I'd like a centerman, but realistically, who's going to be a better centerman than John Tavares that you can get?
I do not know that.
The only way you're going to get another centerman that's better than Tavares to take that first line spot, you're spending almost as much money as you're about to trade away. Right?
Yeah.
You're not just going to randomly find a top line centerman to be better than John Tavares for $7 million.
Yeah.
Unless you look at Edmonton, you go for Draisaitl at 8.5. That's just.
Even for Matthews, I don't think.
Does Draisaitl have a no move?
Partial.
I don't think Edmonton would move him.
No.
David, if it's up to Edmonton, they will die in that arena.
Yes.
Yeah.
Age of 174.
Yes. I agree.
McDavid just got an assist, by the way.
McDavid did?
Yeah.
I think the real possibility though is Marner could be moved before the end of the year. With that being said though, that is if they do not have a real shot at the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
If they have a real shot at the Stanley Cup and they are, let's say, number one in their division going into the postseason, no. If I was Dumas, I would not be trading away.
No. I think that would be an off-season move, depending on how they do.
That would be a draft move.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that way you can leverage like a guy like Marner into getting up higher into the draft to see if you can get another guy that's going to be similar to him, younger, that you can bring into the lineup at 925,000 on that rookie entry and ride him for 3 years.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It'll be an off-season move, I think.
Yeah. It's going to depend on how they do this year.
Yeah. All right. Let's touch quickly on the defensive pairing for the last 2 games. Right. No Hall, healthy scratch, 2 games in a row, and let's look at how Jared McCann is doing.
I don't want to.
We discussed it on Saturday when we were all together, and when we didn't see Hall in the lineup. I know a couple things came up about Justin Hall and McCann and how we kept one and lost the other. So
I just want to.
let's go ahead with your pick first.
Do you guys remember when we got McCann? That was after the Leafs crapped the bed in the playoffs, and the first good news we got from them was like, "Hey guys, we got this dude, Jared McCann. All we gave up was as a 7th and a lower ranked prospect, and we got him. And his stats were good. He looked like this guy's a player. And we're like, awesome. And it was like the same week we put him up, and we lost him in the draft, in the expansion draft. It's like, here's this. I know that we did so bad, but you know what? Things are looking good. We got this player, and it's gone. And it's like, wow, that's great. And they did that. Everyone thought it was to protect Kerfoot, but no, they actually, everyone I've talked to thinks this. They actually didn't protect Kerfoot either. They wanted to protect Justin Hall. Justin Hall, who has been playing terrible this year, who is scratched for the last 2 games. Liljegren's looking pretty good. Sandin's looking pretty good. I don't think he cracks this lineup anymore.
I think he does tomorrow, considering Dermott.
Oh, that's right, because Dermott's got an injury now.
I think you can argue 2 sides to this thing. Yeah, it would have been nice to have McCann because he's put up 7 points so far this year. Yeah, he had 3 goals.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been nice to have him for that reason. And
For a
how well
seventh.
he started off this year. However, after Liljegren, who do we have on defense? Like, Liljegren is our backup guy. After him, who we bringing up? Right? So Justin Hall gives us that 7th player,
Yeah.
that extra depth on defense for an injury. Because Muzzin is injury prone, keep that in mind.
Yes, he is.
So you know at some point, whether it's playoffs or regular season, Muzzin's going to go down with an injury. At least we have someone who's played in the NHL and who can stand up and play.
But can you really have your 7th D guy making $2 million?
No. However, I think there are other defensemen that they could have brought in that would have been more expensive.
Absolutely, but it's you shouldn't be paying your 7th D $2 million. It was a bad contract that he signed last year. Was it? Yeah, it was last year he signed it, I believe.
I don't know when he signed that one. I think you know what, for Hall $2 million for Hall, I think it's a good deal. I don't think that's a bad contract. I think that's a decent price for him. I have nothing against that contract.
That's right.
Not to mention, if they were to give up Hall, they would have had to sign a new defenseman, and they think they could have gotten somebody for less than $2 million.
No, they probably would have just brought up some random guy from the AHL or something.
After bringing up Liljegren.
Yeah.
Right, because they would have brought up Liljegren and then had to bring up somebody else.
Too many rookies.
Prepared to play.
Yeah.
Which I think overall would have hurt us more.
Yeah.
Right, so I don't know, Jason, do you got any opinions on it?
Well, like when we're breaking it down, like I know a lot of people, like, as you guys said, they'll fight back and forth on the whole Kerfoot, Jared McCann scenario. Right now, like you guys said, McCann's got 7 points in 8 games, 3 goals, 4 assists. He's a -3. Kerfoot is 5 points in 10, so a little bit of a slower start, but he's a +4. He's playing a little more defensively responsible, and he in Kerfoot's first 2 years with Colorado, he had 43 points in 42, and playing on a pretty decent Pittsburgh, or even when you go track back into his time in Florida, Vancouver, he has not put up a season over 40 points. So right now, Kerfoot's showing a little bit more of an offensive outburst or an offensive upside than what McCann is at the moment. So we'll see what happens. But the biggest thing is, even with having Hall out, and then you guys talking about who you can bring up, they have right now the Marlies have Alex Viega, who has spent time with the Vancouver organization. He's been up in the NHL, played some good minutes. So you have that option. Even Carl Dahlstrom from Stockholm, Sweden. He's 6'4", 222 pounds, and he can move. They have options if they really wanted to, but I think right now the way the D is set up with Liljegren and Sandin, it gives the Leafs more of a dynamic option in the sense where these two guys can play pretty solid defense, but they give you a lot of speed and a lot of offensive upside, especially trying to break out of the zone. So I like what they're doing. Yeah, losing McCann, who can play center and wing, does hurt, but I don't know. I think it's really a wash at the end of the day on both of the moves. Like, the contract's good for Hall, but unfortunately he's not as fleet of foot as Liljegren or Sandin. So
yeah. I want to touch on one more thing. There's an article written in The Athletic, and it talks about the Engvall, Camp, and Case line. And if we had kept McCann, we wouldn't have gotten Comp. We can agree on that. Right? We would have had no need for him. We wouldn't have gotten
Yeah, I do like Comp.
So together, I'm gonna try and read this line for line here. Engvall, Camp, and Kasha have logged 66 minutes together. They're carrying an offensive zone start of 9%. They've only taken 9% of their starts in the offensive zone. That is a shutdown line right there.
Yeah.
Like, I think by not getting McCann, we got Comp, and
Good shutdown
half
line.
the price, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Because they signed Camp for half the price that
McCann
that
got.
McCann.
Yeah, that's fair. It is a little painful to see how good he's doing, but it's just kind of
But I think if you break it down player by player and stats points, yes, McCann's a better player.
Yeah.
However, looking at it from a full team dynamic, as of right now, I'm happy that they still have Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we go another 10 games and Hall doesn't touch the ice and McCann continues at the rate he's going, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I would have liked those points.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, as of right now, I'm happy with the decision they made because I like the team that's on the ice right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with the Leafs roster, and I'm excited to see where they go forward from here. So, right now, I'm going to say keeping Hall was a better decision.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. By bringing that up, I do agree with you. It does just suck seeing him do. It does hurt.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it doesn't. I don't want to come off and say it does hurt. It does hurt to see that he's got 7 points, but at the same time,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
let's see how the season ends.
Yeah.
Exactly. So early in the year, and as I was saying, like going through all of McCann's seasons, his top one was with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That was 35 and 66 games. When you look at, if you look at Kerfoot, his biggest one is 43 and 70.
Yeah, but we're not
43 and 79, but
comparing Kerfoot and McCann.
oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like if you have McCann, you have him there, so like Kerfoot McCann can be offset. So having Hall is a better option. Like, right now is a better option. But because McCann is showing that he can start off quick, but it doesn't pan out for the full season.
Yeah, that's what James is saying. He's just like, we'll see how it pans out.
It is the best mixture you can have.
Yeah, I think we also have to look at the fact that like McCann's on a new team this year, right? He's on Seattle, and he's not playing. Cause if his primary thing is he's a centerman, he's not playing behind Crosby and Malkin this year, right? Like he gets to be more up front. He gets to see more ice time, and I think that could be why he's getting more points. Like look what happened in Vegas. They came out that first year and exploded because they had a whole bunch of players who played behind the top guys. And when they got the ice time, they performed outstanding.
Oh, don't.
And it could be a similar thing with
I hope it's not, because then you're gonna have like a William Karlsson thing where it turns out, oh, no one wants to play this guy, and then all of a sudden he puts up so many freaking goals. If this happens with McCann, if McCann comes out and is like a 35 goal scorer, oh.
No, you know what? I'm not worried about that because to bring out McCann, where would he have been playing on the Leafs?
Dude, if he gets 35 goals, you can find a spot for him.
But realistically, he would have played on the third line behind Tavares, behind Matthews, in the same kind of situation he would have played when he was on Pittsburgh.
I get it.
The Leafs wouldn't have given him the play time that he's getting on Seattle.
Buddy, everything you're saying makes sense. That doesn't help if I see McCann has 35 goals at the end of this year and Justin Hall still is in the AHL or something like that. I'm going to be very upset. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. I will agree with that.
You're looking down at like a tree, like a couple years from now. It's like, Jerry McCann. Oh, yeah. Jerry McCann on Seattle. Yeah, he's like a 40-goal guy every year. Rocket Richard almost won that. Toronto had it. What did we get for him? Oh.
We also gave up nothing for him.
Yeah, we gave up a conditional 7th or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Just as a sidebar, earlier when we were talking about McDavid, when we mentioned him, I looked at my my fantasy hockey here. Dude's got 18 points in 8 games.
Insane.
Just what a monster.
Absolutely. Do you think so? What's 82 times 2 is what? 166?
164.
164. He's on pace. Does he hit it?
He's on pace for 184.
I'm dialing it back a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm going right to Augusta.
Do you think he hits 2 points a game? Playing a full healthy season, so whether he only plays 70 games, does he put up an average of 2 points a game?
he could do it.
There's a guy right now that can do it. It's him.
Yeah, it's him.
Without a doubt.
What did he get? Not last year. The last 82 game season. What did he have in?
I don't think it matters, Brent.
I'm just curious.
Because that's 3 years ago now, right? He's a different player than he was. 3
Better.
years ago.
He's just better. What did he have last year? Like,
He had 103 points in 56 games.
Was it 100?
he was on a 2-point a game pace.
He was just behind it.
He could totally get 180 points this year.
Not 180.
160.
There you go.
That would, even if he got 150, just under, that would be ridiculous.
Yes.
Especially in this era with how good the goaltending
Yeah.
is, how good the defense is. It's crazy to think.
He's an NHL player playing in the AHL right now.
Yeah.
That's
You,
what it feels like.
It-
It's just-
you know how earlier we were talking about win, lose, or cry? You're like, what's above win? That's kind of like what he is for the NHL.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the NHL's here for McDavid. Is there something above it? Like,
Yeah.
Let's put a limiter on him where he can only start playing in the second period and the third. No first period.
I think he's got to skate backwards the entire game.
It means he's on the ice. He's still going to score.
Yeah,
He's still going to put points up.
he's this there.
Yeah. Put a blindfold on him.
God, it's just so disgusting.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
That's
put a hand on his stick.
still. Hey, Ovechkin did it while sliding on his back. If there's a way to score, he'll find it.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on here for a second. I don't think around the league there's a lot going on. I think nothing we have to dive into too much. I do want to talk about though Cole Caulfield going down to the AHL. I mean he's got 1 point in 10 games. Chase, what's your opinion on that?
I think it's a smart move, to be completely honest. He's still extremely young. He's gotta be able to feel the ups and downs and almost. Sometimes I think there's still a lot of teams that put so much pressure on these young kids to start off extremely hot and keep going. Where if you look at it, let's go back a few years, actually almost 10 years ago, when Pacioretty came into the league. He spent 3 different stints with the Hamilton Bulldogs in the AHL before becoming a full-time roster. And now look at him, like he's a threat for 35 goals every year. So it's not a bad thing for a young player like Cole Caulfield to spend some time in the minors, get used to the size of the players going up against, the speed of the game, get used to his confidence, man. I think this is going to be a solid move. And even Corey Perry called him the day after he got sent down and said, keep your head up, kid, don't worry, go down, do your stuff. And he'll be back up in no time because he's got unbelievable talent. He just needs. He needs to just, I think, slow the game down and just play his style of hockey and not worry about playing to other people's perspective of what he needs to do. Kind of like what Marner was doing at the end here. He felt the pressure. He just needed to relax, play his game.
Yep.
Caulfield's got to look at it the same way. And I think this is going to be a great move for him in the long run.
Yeah, and I think sorry, Brent, what do you think there? What's your opinion on this?
I think it's the best for his development right now. Like the Canadians themselves are hot garbage at this point, so it doesn't do great for someone's development to be playing with terrible players on a team that's losing all the time. You're that young, you need to be playing. You need to be able to kind of spread your wings, kind of thing. Play well. If you're in a team where everyone on the team is just depressed because they're like trash this year, that's not great for your development. He's only on the second year of his entry level. Send him down. Let him just like wreck it up. And if Price comes back and they start winning a couple games again, and there's some hope, bring him up. But if you're going to be on a team it's winning, what do they have, like one win in October?
They're in October. I'm not sure. Their total, they're 3-8 right
3-8, maybe. I'm thinking Chicago. My bad. But they're not good. They're not good.
now. They have 6 points.
They have 6 points. And it's November. They're not good. And why put a guy as talented as Cole Caulfield on the team that's just like a losing mentality right now? Again, Carey Price is supposed to be coming back very soon, and Carey Price on an AHL team could make them a contender if he's on his game. So who knows?
And two points on that, Brad. I completely agree. Why keep him on a losing team with a losing team mentality right now? I think, get him out of that locker room. Let him clear his head. Let him not get used to losing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what you want. So here's I was thinking of this. I think it was yesterday. exactly know why he left and why he's leaving the NHLPA, but we all know what the media is like around Montreal. And after watching what happened last year in the playoffs, it was how far can Carey Price take us? It's all on Carey Price's back. The team is 3-8 right now without him.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he steps on that ice, the expectation is going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, we have you back now. We better start winning, or else. And I'm afraid for what it could do to his mentality.
Yeah. It's I
don't know. I'm worried for the guy.
As much as I don't disagree with you, but I disagree with you know what I mean? Like, that's such a horrible thing for them to say to Price, but that's definitely what they're saying to Price, because it's like, you've built your team to be like, if we don't have the best goaltender in the world, then we're gonna suck. That's not a great way to build your professional hockey team. If we don't have the best goaltender imaginable, we suck. We are literally based on one aging player.
But with that being said, that's what the management team did at the GM. That's not what the fans did. And it won't be the GM that will rip Carey Price apart.
It'll be fans.
Terrible. It's the fans that look at Marner.
Yeah.
Marner was a loved player for so long. Most loved player on the Leafs team, and now every single Leaf fan hates him, and it's just dumping on him. Absolutely.
There is a bit of a difference there, I believe.
A little.
Like,
there is. You can't compare them side by side. I'm just saying, look at the amount of hate that fans can throw on a player, and look how it can affect him as a person.
I agree.
As a player.
The one thing I would say, though, is Price has they have won stuff because of Price, right? They went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year because of Price. So the hate that Marner's got is, you asked for all the money in the world and you've done nothing. Whereas Price asked for a lot of money and decided to be like, you pay me a lot of money, so I'm going to get us to the Stanley Cup Finals and beat these teams and go from like 16th place to sneaking in to getting all the way to the finals. And he's older now too, so you kind of like, everyone knows, okay, if you're like 35, you're not going to be as good as you were when you're 23. Whereas Marner, but they do to a point. They do. It's very different, especially Montreal's as hard of a market as Toronto is, but Price has won things. Price has played amazing. He's played up to his contract, whereas Marner hadn't had a goal in 20 games. They haven't won anything. They put them in cap hell. It's kind of the same, but Price has accolades to show for what he's asked for and what he's done, whereas Marner hasn't, so that's why he's getting more hate.
And like you said, you can't compare them side by side.
No.
But I don't know, that was my opinion. I'm a little worried for him and to see what's going to happen when he does come in.
So
they keep losing.
Did they ever specify exactly what the why he left for the month?
No. The only thing I can really think of, and again, this is just speculation. This isn't for sure. Well, with everything that went on with the residential schools, his mom is the chief of I forget the actual name of the native tribe out in his back of his hometown. She's the chief, so I think there was a lot of stuff that went on there with some connections to family and whatnot. And then there's also forest fires that ran through BC that almost took his house away from him and his family.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's more personal or if there was something to do inside the organization. Those are the things I can really think of at the moment. I hope it's nothing like too serious. And I hope he gets everything. I hope everything's good, because they're saying November 6th will be here as he's back. So knock on wood, fingers crossed, everything's good for him and his family when they make their return. As James said, I am nervous when he does make his return, but I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed. Maybe they can work out a trade in the last few years of his contract, try to get him to a contender and get him a cup ring.
I know.
Yeah. The man deserves it.
We should trade Marner. Don't sign Campbell. Sign Price.
Brandon, you just complained about Tavares getting older.
I know. I was joking.
Like,
I was joking.
all right, you know what? So jump. Here we go. We're gonna jump one goalie to the other. What's the dude's name? I can't pronounce. Binnington.
Oh, Binnington, yes.
Binnington deserves to get run over. I don't know what his name is. What? I know you guys. I'm a bag in the league. I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
He's been compared to Marchand, right? I've heard it this week. He's been compared to Marchand because he'll do things and get away with it, and no one can really do anything about it. To that comment, I have to bring you back to a game where Alexander Ovechkin was down in 1-0 and Marchand ran him over. Look what happened to Marchand the next play.
Mm-hmm.
Ovechkin stood up, skated down the ice, and absolutely flattened him. I'm pretty sure knocked his helmet off.
Oh, it was a great hit.
It's only a matter of time before he takes it one step too far, and someone's going to come barreling down and just run him flat.
Well, he thinks he's all.
I will be happy when that happens.
He thinks he's all protected. He's got the biggest equipment on the ice. He's got.
He's a goaltender.
He's a goaltender.
It doesn't matter what equipment he has, what team he's on, who you are. He's a goaltender.
Can't even take.
And I'm an offensive, so I'm the worst person for saying this. Because I'll do anything to protect my goalie.
Yeah.
But if you touch the goalie, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's kind of hiding behind.
Yeah.
He's the goaltender. And if anyone were to ever try and do anything to him, the whole team's going to pound him.
The refs can't even do anything about it. Because he doesn't even serve his own penalties.
I know.
It's bullshit.
But this is where the league's got to step in, because there's been multiple instances through the playoffs where there was one in LA when I forget if Quick was getting pulled or if it was at the end of the period. They had to cross paths and he fake punched him and went after him, was jerking him. So Quick lost his mind and tried to go back after, but he can't. He skates away like a little baby.
Yep.
Then he did it with Devin Dubnyk when he was in Minnesota. Wouldn't fight Dubnyk. Just kept trying to hide behind the players and the refs. And then this last one, again,
Oh my god.
Because it gets my ass, but being a goalie myself, like, I've done some pretty sketchy things and some scrums, slash some people, push them with my blocker or whatnot. But you don't swing your stick anywhere near a guy's head. Even if it's Kadri, if it's Ryan Reeves, or the popcorn vendor in the 13th row, you still don't do that to me. But the fact that you have the balls to still run your mouth after everything's said and done, come on. Like, at least be a man, drop your gloves, because Kemper was starting to come down.
Yeah.
He wanted to get squirrely. Binnington shoots the puck at Kemper, thinking, oh, I'm a tough guy. Kemper just caught it and put it on the ice. But if you're going to do that, go to center ice and scrap the other goalie if you're going to be that tough of a guy.
He's not a tough guy. That's his thing.
No, he's not.
I hope someone comes down real hot and just runs him right through. Kind of like what happened to Campbell in that Chicago game. Someone put him right through the net into the boards. I know it's kind of an accident, but I hope someone just comes barreling down and runs him flat.
Well, let's think about it.
When Ryan Miller got ran over by Lucic,
Yes.
Boston, that's what needs to be done.
That's exactly what needs to happen. Right?
Either that, or like a guy like Mike Smith, he's one of the toughest SOBs in net, and he can huck as many knuckles as you want. He's got to go down and give Binnington all you can eat fists for a solid 3 minutes.
Let him have it. Teach him a lesson because he's gonna or the rest needs to step in and do something. Eject him out of the game. Don't just throw a penalty. Yeah, kick him out of the game. Right? Do something that will heavily affect the team. Right? You throw him out midway through the second period, midway through the first or third, and you have to now all of a sudden mid-period throw in your backup. Like that will affect the team heavily. Which the coaching staff's going to come down on him because they haven't yet. Because why would they? And what he's doing is working. So until he affects the team in a very negative way, the team won't do anything, and the refs either need to step up and do something, or a player needs to take it into their own hands and just fly out of full speed.
It doesn't help that the coach Craig Berube was also a bit of a scumbag lately. So he probably sits there and pats him on the back because he's rattling the cage. No, there's ways to do it and there's ways not. Like if anything, go brick someone.
Tell
Not
you,
a needle.
no, neither is hitting Ovechkin, but look how that turned out. Like I said, it's just gonna take the one player. He's gonna do something to the wrong player, and that player won't care that he's a goaltender.
Well,
They're gonna care that he's a player that's just gonna swing at him, and it's gonna go boom.
can we talk about how he swings his stick at Kadri's head? Kadri goes to yell at him for swinging his stick at his head, and Kadri's the one who gets the penalty.
Yeah.
Well, they both got 10-minute penalties,
But he didn't have to serve his damn penalty.
What did Kadri do to get a penalty?
He said, "Hey, don't smoke me in the face with a wooden stick." 10 minutes for that.
No, he used a couple of expletives.
Wouldn't you?
Ooh.
Wouldn't you?
I guess there was words said. And I don't know, but he got a penalty for literally not even doing anything. He said words.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
but again, it's Kadri, so he's
I know.
working on it.
Kadri looked at him. It's not a penalty.
Literally, what about what happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? He used a stick. He used words, but the words are just as hurtful as the stick, apparently.
Well, the stick never actually touched him, so
Yeah, exactly.
Neither did the words.
both their feelings got hurt.
Oh my God, Binnington.
They both had to go sit in the corner and think about it.
No, he didn't. Binnington went back and played games.
Who got killed?
Yeah.
Reference for the penalty.
His mom's the teacher.
That's such horseshit. Oh my God.
Alright, I think we're almost done here. I want to bring up two things. COVID-19 and the NHL.
Oh.
Two players I want to talk about. One is Patrick Kane. Had COVID, came back, put up 4 points. Hat-trick and an assist. What an incredible game. But the player I feel bad for, and I read about this today, and I felt sorry for him, was Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Like, come on, the guy's out with a wrist injury, has surgery, serves his time off, comes back, plays, I think, what was his first game, Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately, it's
COVID,
COVID.
buddy. See you later. I don't know. I saw the article come up today, and I felt bad for him. That's it. I'm not even a huge fan of Sidney Crosby, but I feel for the guy. Just let him play hockey.
It sucks. He's one of the most talented. He was the best player ever in the NHL. I say ever, but Gretzky and stuff like that. The most recent best player, Sid the Kid. And how many mumps and injuries and concussions and now COVID. It's almost as bad as the whole thing with that where if Ovechkin doesn't break the record, if he barely misses the record, and it's because he had shortened seasons and bullshit. Like,
I agree.
it's such a ripoff, man. So unfair.
It sucks for hockey fans in general.
It does.
You want to see the best players on the ice
Yeah.
night in, night out, but unfortunately it's part of life that this happens, and we're dealing still with this pandemic that just doesn't seem to want to even slow down. But one thing though that was said by a couple players, the one being Nathan McKinnon, is he said that there wasn't, because he was one of the players that COVID before the vaccine rollout, and he received it this year, and he said if it wasn't for the vaccine, he would have been knocked flat.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot of the players still saying the exact same thing, is if it wasn't for this vaccine, we would not be back as quick. So at least we know it's working.
Well,
And it's showing the time that
Yeah.
we're missing these guys, but still, it just sucks to see a guy like Crosby, who I used to hate, but now I'm gaining so much respect for, because he's become more mature every season, every year, and he's just he's a great guy, great player. So I want him back.
He's there to win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he wants to win. He's got a winning mentality, and that's what he carries with him. And that's what I like about him. But yeah, I mean, with, like what you said about having the vaccine there, look at Kane.
Yep.
Like he bounced back, and it looked like he didn't take a day off.
Can I just say, as the resident biologist here, I have a degree in biology. I work as a biologist. Get your vaccine. It works. Just want to say that. I keep hearing people, oh, you could still get sick with the vaccine. And like you said, yeah, you can get sick. You don't die. You don't have to go to the hospital. It's like a flu. It's like when you get the flu shot, you can still get it, but it's not as bad. Get you're vaccinated if you're not vaccinated. Okay, like, oh my god. Chicago game, who the one guy, their top guy couldn't go because he's not vaccinated. Was it Detroit? Tyler Bertuzzi, not vaccinated. They you don't think if they had Bertuzzi there, you don't think they could have got one more goal?
Oh, yeah, he would change the way he played, but still, I don't know. I said at least we're starting to put things together. So
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. It's a what if.
What if? I'm just saying, get your vaccine, please.
I think he could have helped Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they would have won. If I was Detroit, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
5-4 game with the 5th goal being Marner's little garbage. Right?
Goal's a goal.
I would have been pissed if I was a Detroit fan. However, I'm not, and I'm a Leaf fan. So go Marner.
Go Marner. Goal's a goal.
A goal's a goal's a goal. I'll keep saying it. I don't care. Right? Like even Matthew's second goal in
Yeah.
the Vegas game. That wasn't a clean, good goal. He shot it, hit the post, it hit the goal, and then went in the net.
But you know what?
Well, that's a clean goal.
Goal's a goal.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Exactly. At the end of the year, that 50 on the score sheet. I don't care how many of them went empty nets, how many of them went with the goalie in the net, how many were on the power play. Goal's a goal. Alright, I think the last thing on our list here, Aldrich. Is that pronouncing that right? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Aldrich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, cross it out. They did. They took his name off the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Crossed off the 2010 Stanley Cup, which I think should have happened a long time ago. I mean, when the guy went to jail in, was it 2016, I think? 2016 or 2017?
That was 2014 that he went.
Was it?
Yeah. Because he left the Blackhawks in 2010, and then he did it in 2013, 3 years later, and then he got his sentence in 14.
I thought he did it in 2016.
Yeah.
It was maybe a 16-year-old.
It was a 16-year-old.
There we go.
John
There we
Doe
go.
was 15
Yeah.
in Michigan that unfortunately had to go through the beach thing.
All right.
Yeah, which, I mean, could have been prevented, should have been prevented,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't because they didn't handle it properly.
Yep.
I think with the press report that the lawyers came up with, it's clear that it wasn't handled properly.
It was not. It was known. They hit it because they were on a cup run. They won the cup, and they knowingly had this guy have the day with his Stanley Cup, put his name on the cup, and they let him go off and do it to somebody else. So I don't think we needed to spend. I think anyone who's in the hockey world has heard about this. I don't think we need to spend too much time on it. We definitely need to touch upon it. Fuck that guy.
Have you guys seen the interview with Kyle Beach and Rick Westhead?
No, I was watching the Bettman interview today.
Go watch the interview
Yeah.
with Rick Westhead and Kyle Beach.
Yeah, I heard clips
It's
from it.
tough to listen to.
Yeah, I only heard some clips, and it was pretty bad. Yeah,
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Absolutely.
but good for him for speaking up though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he really does.
Yeah.
In that interview, he really opens up to him, which I think was important for him to do.
Yeah.
And like he said in the interview, like the healing process for him has just begun.
Mm.
Right? Even though this happened 11 years ago, it has just begun now because it's been buried for so long.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm gonna say is go watch the interview. It was very good.
Mhm.
But it is tough to listen to.
Yep. I'll say fuck Aldrich. Fuck that guy. I hope he never gets to set foot in a rink ever again. Doesn't deserve it. And that's all I got for that. Like Kyle Beach and John Doe too. I hope they get all the help they can get, and I hope it helps their family heal that this guy's got some justice, even though the NHL didn't do as good of a job as I think they should have.
Well, the NHL didn't do anything.
No. I'm talking about the NHL. Bettman in particular. They got a $2 million fine. The Chicago Blackhawks got a $2 million fine for hiding a sexual assault, whereas Arizona got fined $3 million for having some guys come in and do some fitness testing. That's bullshit.
New Jersey got a bigger fine for Kovalchuk's contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For cap circumvention.
Yeah.
So they're saying that's why I'm mad at the NHL. They're saying the hierarchy is sexual assaults down here, and then don't mess with the cap though. Like that's
That's what it's saying. It's very bad. It's very poor, and they need to do something to change it.
Bettman may be on his way out.
Well, the way this was handled, maybe he should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I can give a little bit of a positive
Ah.
spin to this. Kyle Beach is still playing over in Europe.
Hey, good for him.
Last year, 36 games playing in Germany, he had 60 points.
Pretty good.
It was a plus 22. So he's still going. Obviously, things which should be a little different for him, but the guy has talent. So he's still playing. He's still doing playing the game that he loves.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets the help he needs. But it's nice to see that he's able to still get out there, put those points up, and
Good for him.
really show people how you play good Canadian hockey.
That was also one of the things he said in the interview, though, is like he loves being on the team he's on. It's a community, he said. Like it's a tight group. They're open with each other. It's a community that he's with now, and he's very happy with it.
And he's 4 points in 4 games so far this year, so
Attaboy.
he gets another big season over there. That'd be nice to see.
I wish I can go skating. I don't know if I told you, James, but I told Chase this because at my gym I have I work out at the gym and I have like the rinks in front of me, right? So if I'm finished my workout, I do cardio. I literally watched Chase play the other night from the friggin' treadmill, and I went and I finished, and because I'm trying to learn how to skate, and I want to play some like ice hockey, right? I want to learn how to skate. I want to be able to go on the ice and shot. And I was doing pretty good before COVID. I was learning decently. It is downright impossible for anybody to go skating unless you're in a league. I went to the pad, and they have 4 rinks. Nobody was skating. Like all the things were over. It was like 9:00, and they said, "Oh no, we're booked up, and there's no free skates, and there's no this, there's no that." I've looked it up. There's nowhere to go. What do you do?
Right now with all how everything's been done with COVID and all the delays in getting tryouts and the kids back on the ice, a lot of the minor systems have booked up all the ice that's possible just to try to get the development back underway, trying to get kids back being active, get the leagues going. I wouldn't be surprised once everything gets going full swing, December, January, we'll see some ice opening up in the smaller rinks around Hamilton. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
There's public skating at the Wayne Gretzky Center every Saturday.
God damn it.
PM to 5.
Is there?
Not in Hamilton, not Brantford. Okay?
Every single Saturday.
I might make
I'm gonna put it out there.
I might make the drive, buddy.
3:30 to 5:30 p.m.
What are you doing Saturday between 3:30 and 5?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I gotta get my skates sharpened. Actually,
Adult shinny on Wednesdays.
that's the problem. I can't play yet. I can't skate backwards.
All right, guys. So let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
But very quickly, next 2 games of the docket are Lightning tomorrow, Boston on Saturday. Chase, real quick, what do you think it's gonna do?
1-0-1. I think you guys beat Tampa, but then lose in overtime to the Bruins.
Okay, Brennan.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same way. Tampa started off kind of slow. I mean, sort of Boston. We just never play well against Boston. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's overtime. I think it's gonna be one win, 1 loss. Tampa win.
Toronto and Tampa are tied for points right now. Tampa has 1 less game played.
Yeah.
They are
So
tied.
Tampa's beatable. I think they'll actually beat Tampa. I don't think they'll beat Boston.
I think they're beating both teams.
I mean, you were almost right last week.
I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say after the last 2 wins they just had, the last 3 wins, sorry, the two last ones specifically though, I think they're coming off a couple nice games there. I think they can keep this momentum going.
All right.
And both games are at home. So I think there's a solid chance they take both games here.
You guys want to have a little watch party at my place tomorrow night?
No,
I have hockey tomorrow. I gotta go stop some pucks with my new gear.
I'm working.
I just don't like how quickly you said no. That kind of hurt.
I can't.
He's gotta pay his bills, okay?
Yeah. Alright, I think, is that everything for this week? Is that all we got here?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Yeah, hopefully James is right. We win another 2 games, go on a 5-game winning streak. I'll feel a bit more comfortable about saying that maybe they can do something this year. I don't know, man. Three in a row with 2 of them being weak teams. I'm not sold yet. I want to see how they play. Even if they lose one of these games, or even both, if they're playing phenomenal, it's a difference maker. They just hadn't been playing good up until now. Now they're playing good, and I hope it's not just a flash in the pan. I hope you're right. I hope the mentality's changed, and I'm pretty sure it is. Having Marner score, it's got everybody going, I think. But guys, I think that's it. We'll be here next. We'll be recording next Wednesday. Podcast will be up next Thursday. And look forward to any other things we post on our Facebook, or Instagram or Twitter. We're going to try and be a bit more active on there, posting little theories, what we think about the games as we're watching them. And we'll talk to you guys next Thursday. See ya.